All right, we're back with another edition of What's on Your Watch List, and we'll be getting into that very shortly. A little excited about this one. Okay, anyway, hold it down. Good. Woo-saw. We're okay. Woo-saw. All right. Speaking of woo-saw, we're going to go through the main points we got to go through on every one of these things, even though we're starting off with a new series that I'll be reviewing weekly on this one. First and foremost, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I am as well. That being said, if you want to come on here and have a discussion or comment on something, absolutely, let's do this. If you're coming on here with the sole intent of trolling, not going to happen. I will remove because we're all here to have fun. We're all here to enjoy ourselves. A discussion is okay. If you have negative concepts about something and you want to bring up that you didn't like something, that's fine. But to go in here and just straight out troll, no, we're not doing that. So that part of it's done. Now for the fun part. I am breaking down these episodes as I go along. So if you have not watched, avert your eyes and ears. Just avert completely. Because, spoiler alert, you guessed it. Spoiler alert. You have been warned. All right. So I've already done a few of these on some other series that are out there. A couple of them that have ended, one of them that's still current, which is Andor, which I'm still doing currently. And this one was one that caught my attention immediately, and I already knew that whenever the other ones were ending, I was going to look into this one being my next one to start reviewing. But I'm going to be very honest with you. If you're not familiar with the name, you already don't know the history behind this, but this is the spinoff of Supernatural. Anybody who knows me knows that I am a huge Supernatural fan. Case in point, first pilot episode, whenever it aired, that night, the very next day, I was at work. Radio station in town was taking calls, asking people what they thought about it. And I called. I got on the radio, got to talk to them, and found out that somebody was in the background on there listening in. I can't remember if it was the producer or the creator was over there listening in, and it threw me off because as soon as they let me go off of there, that's whenever I heard them kick in and say, they're excited about hearing the fans' reactions to this particular issue or episode that came out. So that's what started it all. And then all of those seasons going through Supernatural to the most epic of closings on there. Not a dry eye in the house is absolutely right. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I did. I'm a big enough man to admit it. So whenever they mentioned about they were going to do a spinoff, it was like, okay, that's fine. And then the more I heard about it, the more I heard it sounded a lot like Supernatural. I'm like, oh, y'all are trying to redo what you've already done. This is going to be terrible. And I'm going to be very honest. Right before this thing aired is whenever I found out that Jensen Ackles is actually one of the producers on here. I believe his wife is one of them as well, if I'm not mistaken on this. And I was kind of like, okay, I don't see Jensen actually allowing something bad to happen to this series because that's his legacy at this point moving forward. He's got other work, of course, that he does. I mean, Soldier Boy and The Boys was phenomenal. But Dean Winchester would just, that's him. It's kind of like, Tony Stark. The roles fit on there with certain people. Dean Winchester, definitely Jensen. And when this series was about to launch, I wanted it to be so good. I had every bit of high hopes on this thing. You have no idea. I really, really intended for this thing to be as great as possible. The day that it launched, I intentionally waited a day because I was so on edge about this. That's how passionately I feel about this series. Well, about the Supernatural series. So then whenever I finally watch episode 1, episode 1 comes around, I watch it, and I sat there in front of the computer, and I shook my head, and I looked up at the title on there, and I shook my head again, and I said, yep, don't know how, but you did it. It's got the same feel of Supernatural with different characters, with different things that are going on, but it's a prequel to Supernatural. But still, it's very difficult to mimic that feeling on there. And they did it, but in a different way at that. So it's still the family business. Oh, come on, you can go ahead and say it. You've got to know that saying on there. If you don't know Supernatural and we're friends, we need to have a talk. But if we're friends and you know Supernatural, somebody owes somebody a drink on this one, because this was a damn good series and still is. But the family business, helping people, hunting things. Yeah, it flows directly into this one. The story of Mary and John, whenever they first meet, and we're talking about the first day they meet, and everything that's surrounding that. A bigger threat in this ensuing than some of the things they encountered in Supernatural, which I'm even kind of over here scratching my head going, I don't see how that's possible, but I'm into it. I'm good. So episode 1, we see how they are kind of thrown together. You get to see that Mary has been training in the art of helping people hunting things, the family business. And of course, her dad is missing. Sounds familiar for some reason. I've heard this script before. But it's awesome how they show them coming together. It wasn't an extremely fluid jump right into it. It was more of a, I see you there, I see you there, we'll see each other at some point type thing. And then fate just kind of kicks them into place. Same thing that happened with Supernatural and quite a few things there. The other characters that are in there are a lot of fun to get to know. A lot of fun. There's a lot of diversity in the characters that are being shown on here, and the character development is actually moving very quickly for who all's on there, and you find yourself being very attached to the character development. You want to see more from them, or you want to see them get more involved, but then again, you want to sit back going, oh, please don't, not too involved, because I want to see them get hurt or killed. Because again, if you're a Supernatural fan, you get too involved and too stuck with somebody's gonna die. It never fails. Now they don't stay dead all the time, but still. So I already said spoiler alerts will be in here, and I'm about to drop a big one on this one. But at the end of episode 1 is whenever my jaw hit the ground. It is narrated by Jensen Ackles, for one thing, which is great. It gives it even more of that nostalgic feel that leads directly into Supernatural. It is such an ease into it. But then we see Jensen on the side of the road in Baby. And if you don't know who Baby is, that's not a dirty reference on that one. That's his car. Thank you very much. The car. And he's writing out, it looks almost like into a journal. Almost like a journal like his dad used to keep. And he's writing the story of all this thing and how he intends to, show a different light in what's going on and a different way, because we've all seen the story already, but he wants to show it from a different perspective. But he's part of it too. Spoiler alert right now. Dean's dead. Sam's dead. They finally got to pass at the end of Supernatural, hence the tears from the big guy right here. So for him to actually be here, now we already know from Supernatural, not everything that dies stays dead. Sam and Dean have died a couple of times, and they've been brought back, both from there and there. Uh, and I mean, it's not past the storyline to bring somebody back like that, but to end the entire Supernatural saga, the epic saga, the way that they did, as emotionally as they did, and then bring it back like this, my jaw's on the ground going, what the hell's going on? Uh, I mean, inside I'm going, yes, but I'm so scared to get attached because they're going to kill him again. I'm sorry, but there's going to be pitchforks and fire on this one. That's going to happen. Episode 1 only. Episode 2, you start seeing more of the character development and the bond between all of these strangers that are now working together and trying to save the world, all at the same time trying to find Mary's dad. It's getting very interesting, and it's moving very quickly in a very good way. The Winchesters definitely needs to be on your radar. If it is not, I don't understand. If you like horror, there you go. If you like comedy, if you like action, fantasy, drama, what else? I'm sure there's other genres out there that I could probably think of, but a bit of rom-com, there you go. It's got everything, everything. And even though it has everything, it is not overshadowing Supernatural. That is my biggest point right there. Kudos to Jensen and everyone that is involved in this. Eric Kripke was the creator of Supernatural, and to have this thing come out, I'm telling you, it scared the hell out of me when it was coming out because I didn't want to get a bad feeling for it. I didn't want to have something bad come out and start leaving me off of that edge because I was on such an emotional roller coaster to lead up to the end of Supernatural. I didn't want to see this actually take me down a notch or two. Oh, it's not taking me down, it's bringing me up. Winchesters. Winchesters comes out on, I believe, Mondays on CW, and then you can watch it online 24 hours later. So on Tuesdays on the CW.com, you can watch this thing online if you want to. And that's why I do a lot of my streaming, stuff on there. And this is one of those. I'm going to be reviewing this thing every week. So get ready for it. Winchesters are coming up every single week. You're going to learn more about John and Mary and the rest of the crew that's with them and start finding out some of the things that are going on. There will be spoilers. I'm not going to lie to you, but is it going to be a fun ride? Well, according to what Jensen's got planned right now, hell yes it is. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll even have Jensen on the show. We could talk about him more about that with that and find out more about what Dean's plan is in this. You never know unless you take a shot, right? Winchesters, do not miss out. And if you're enjoying this, please, please, please remember, like, subscribe, and share today. Do not miss out on quality content like I've been doing on this. And I call it quality because it's every bit of my heart, passion, and soul going into this, along with my fiance's as well. If it wasn't for her, this stuff wouldn't be coming out as well as it is because she really pushes me in a very positive way. Now, that being said, again, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. You want to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these shows. We will be reviewing this weekly on what's on your watch list. We will still be carrying on with Andor until its completion, and then I'll find something else to go ahead and do as well. But there's always going to be movies, there's always going to be TV shows, something on there that's going to be added in extra that I'll do a review on just to see what's on your watch list.